and welcome to the Working Mom Podcast. If you listened to last week, we talked about getting real, so I hope that prepared you for the topic I'm about to talk about today, which is periods and working and being a mom. I read this book one time. I think it was called The Red Tent. I can't remember. It was a while ago. But essentially, in biblical times, it talked about how there was a tent, and when it was that time of the month, all the women went to this tent and had like their week. And let me just tell you that sounds amazing. If I could step away from all of my responsibilities to have a week to just do nothing but have my period, that would be amazing. It really would, because maybe you don't have a heavy flow, maybe your period doesn't bother you, maybe you don't have a period anymore, so this episode is not for you at this moment, but you can maybe think back to a time where it sucked. Going to school sucked. Having it, I have always had a really heavy period. I actually got put on birth control my freshman year of high school because my bleeding was so bad that the third day I thought I was going to die. Like literally curled up in a ball in the shower, thinking I was just in such mass amount of pain I was going to pass out. So, going to work can be a challenge on your period, but somehow women are expected to do this all the time. And there's no like period excuse to skip work. So, except for one time, actually, that's not true. After I had my son, once my period came back after I had been done breastfeeding, my period came back with like a vengeance, like making up for all the time that I hadn't had a period, and I lost so much blood. I have a platelet disorder anyway, that I ended up going to the ER at work. My boss actually took me to the ER to address the fact that who am also a pasty white person in the first place, turned way white. So if I am white, more white than normal, if I look just like a ghost, there's something wrong. So I went to the emergency room. So I got out of work for a little bit that day, but normally it's just a struggle. Let's talk about what happens before you have your period. Now, everybody's period is different, but at least for me, I get migraines. And this is a new thing. This is like in the past couple of years, I get these massive migraines before I have my period. Some hormonal shift happens, even though I'm still on the pill, can't have children anymore. I had my tubes tied, but I still have to take the pill just to regulate my period so that I can manage. But I still get these massive headaches and I still get cramps. I actually got my daith pierced on my left ear because I was trying so hard to do whatever I could to get rid of these massive debilitating migraines. It worked, but not for the hormonal ones that I still have. So I have to function through this migraine that happens before my period. And then usually I want to eat all of the bad things. I want to eat all of the chocolate, all of the donuts, like basically all the sugar and carbs is exactly what I crave, and I am more tempted to give into right before I start my period, or right in the middle, like through the middle of my period. By the end of my period, it's usually over, but like the week before and like 3 or 4 days in, all I want is all the crap. So I already don't feel good with this migraine. And sometimes you get, as my friend calls it, the ibs, which is another polite way of saying I have to go to the bathroom a lot. And I somehow have to function at work. And I just think back to that book about being in a tent with a whole bunch of women. Maybe it wouldn't be a good thing though. Maybe because we're all hormonal and you get out of whack emotionally, you wouldn't want to be in a tent with a whole bunch of women who are out of whack emotionally. But if I was the only one, or if there was just like a couple of us and we could have like a book club that week in the tent, I would be down. Like so down. I'd be excited for my period, and I am so never excited for my period. The only time I was ever excited for my period was when I was like, dear God, like literally praying, dear God, don't let me be pregnant, because, well, there's a whole nother story about being afraid to be pregnant after my miscarriage and whatnot, but that's the only time that I would be excited for my period to come. So you have all of these things that your body is going through, and I mentioned being emotional. Does anybody else feel like they're a crazy train when their period is coming or when it's there? You're tired. I don't know about you, but I get tired, and I'm already a tired person lately. So you have hormones, migraine, tired, just dealing with your period while trying to go to work. Sucks, because then you also, if you have a heavy flow, are concerned about leaking while you're at work. And I don't wear certain clothes. Like I won't wear dresses or skirts unless I have some really good tights on, and I only wear dark clothes because just in case, I don't want any of that to happen. Not like anyone doesn't know that women have their period, but I don't want to announce it to the world via big old red stain. So it's just a challenge. And then when you think you're about to start your period and you're at work, explaining the 5,000 times you run to the bathroom because you feel like you might have started, it's just a big to do. And I'm just being a little bit whiny about it maybe, but I just feel like this is something that we as women face. And especially if you have your kids, and I also have endometriosis, so it's really painful. Sometimes the pill helps with it, but sometimes it's just really, really painful. And when you work with men, especially like unmarried men, or you have like me doing HR and people are coming in, if I'm wincing in pain, I am trying to hide it so much so that people aren't asking me what's wrong, because I'm like, oh, well, Flo came to town. They're not going to understand what that means, but it's just a challenge for at least my work environment. Maybe if I just if this thing gets going in a year or two down the road, this is my 100% full-time job, and I just get to talk to you on YouTube and to you on a podcast, and I can just kind of have a heating pad where right now I'm on video, or if you're only listening on audio, you can't see me anyway. So I could be wearing whatever I want. I could be wearing my comfy fat sweatpants because that's what makes me comfy, and I could maybe take a nap in the middle of the day. Wouldn't that be amazing? It would be so amazing. I hope you're not thinking I'm crazy, but it is about that time for me. And I was just dreading the cramping today, and I was dreading starting my period again. And I'm not super excited for menopause, but one thing that we should have discussed before I had my second C-section was just the problems that I was having. And at the time of my C-section, I could have just had a hysterectomy at the same time. But instead, I had the C-section, then I had the tubal ligation, and I still have a period. And I don't intend on having any more children. So basically, my uterus is useless. And for the next 10 to 20 years or so, I'm going to have to go to work on my period once a month. And it is much better now that I'm on the pill, but when I'm not on the pill, or for example, I went to go pick up my prescription one time at the pharmacy, and my prescription had lapsed. So the pharmacy, which I didn't realize, I don't keep up on these things because I have it for a whole year, and I went to the pharmacy to pick it up, and the pharmacist said it had lapsed and they would reach out to my OBGYN to refill the prescription. And 2 weeks went by, and I called, and the doctor hadn't answered and gotten the prescription. So if you're on the pill, you can't just like start whenever. You have to start on certain days around your period, otherwise you mess your whole body up. And some people take the pill all the way through, and then I don't know how they do that, because you have to have like extra prescriptions to cover those weeks where you don't, like when you're supposed to have a period week. Anyway, so I didn't have my pill to keep my period regular, and I thought 1 month it would be fine. It would probably not be so bad. It was horrible. It was horrible, heavy bleeding. just in pain. I had a migraine. I didn't feel good. I was cramping. And this month, I don't know what is happening, but my breasts are extremely sore to the touch. Like, I am usually not this sore, but I know other women are. And so I have to deal with like that sore tenderness on my chest. And it's just not ideal. So I don't know how you deal with it, or maybe you just think I'm a big old baby, but I also am not supposed to take ibuprofen or anything that's a blood thinner. So maybe my problem is a little exaggerated because I can't take certain pain pills to give me some comfort while I'm at work. Now, I do when it gets really bad, or if I have really bad back pain, I take it because I'm assuming my platelets aren't low and most likely I'm not going to die, but I will end up getting heavier bleeding if I take too much of it, or I'll get a lot of bruising. So, and Tylenol, what is that? I feel like Tylenol is a fake, like it's a placebo effect. Like if you take this Tylenol, it will help your pain. Maybe they actually put Tylenol in kids stuff, but I feel like for adults, at least for me, Tylenol isn't cutting it. I need some real painkillers. I need something to take care of this cramping, horrible pain. You guys are probably thinking I'm totally weird talking about my period and going to work, but when I discovered, and this is not an ad, it's not sponsored or anything, I just wanted to share this information because it's relevant to me right now. I discovered these little cups, and I can't remember exactly which one I got because you only have to buy it once, but they're these silicone cups, and you only have to wear it once throughout the day. You can wear it for up to 12 hours. So I don't even have to change a tampon at work anymore. Unless my period is really light, which occasionally is happening. I don't know why, but occasionally I still get all the symptoms, but it's not as heavy. So I find that I can't use it when my flow is really light. But if my flow is heavy, so like the first, second, third day, or at least the second and third day, I wear this silicone cup. There's the Diva cup. There's this thing called Flex that I've never tried before, and I can't remember what my cup is called. I'll put it in the description of this podcast and in the description on YouTube. But it is amazing because I don't even have to think about it. I just put on a panty liner, and just in case there's any leakage from something. But I found that it's really easy to use, and I don't have any leakage. So that has been a saving grace for me to use while I'm working because I don't have to think about how soaked my tampon is or if I'm going to leak through or any of that. I just wear the silicone cup, and then when I come home, I take it out, rinse it off, put it in, bada bing, bada boom. It's done. So that is my working mom tip for being on your period. Get one of those silicone cups, try out a couple different ones, look at the reviews on Amazon. It's a whole bunch of tips about people using them, but I actually want your opinion. I want to know if any one of my listeners have tried period panties. Thinx is a big brand, but I heard Nicole Walters talking about period panties on, I think it was the Jamie Ivey podcast that she was interviewed on, and they sell them on Amazon too, and I need to find out which one she's talking about because Thinx are really expensive. And I am not sure that I want to pay that when I'm not sure if it's going to work or how. I don't know if I'm going to like the feeling of, like, where does it go? What does it do? Is it feel wet? I'm not 100% sure that I'm on board with these, but I like the idea depending on what it feels like and if they actually work. So if you have tried Thinx or another period panty brand, I would really love to get your opinion and what they are so that I can try them out for myself, because I'd like to be the most comfortable moving around, playing with my children, not worrying about leaking. So if you have found a period panty that works, I really want you to reach out to me and tell me what it is. And if it didn't work, I want to hear that too. I want to hear the good and the bad, pros and the cons. about these period panties because they're a new thing. And I think it's great that we are thinking outside of the box in terms of modernizing, if you want to say that, what we do about our monthly flow. Because I actually don't use, when I use tampons, I no longer use like Playtex or any of those things because I don't know what's in them. And I am very particular about what is in my food and what products I'm using. I like to use things that I know are the best for an affordable price. So the tampons that I did get, I had a subscription before I found the silicone cup, was the Cora Organic. I know that there's Lola as well. I haven't tried those. And then I just use an organic brand like 7th Generation or Natural Something organic cotton panty liners. So those are the products I use, but it would be nice if I didn't have to purchase products every month, which is why I like the silicone cup, but I still use the panty liner. So I'm really wondering about these period panties. So somebody needs to tell me about them ASAP so I can figure it out. That is really my topic today. I know it's kind of crazy and out there, but I am a real person and I talk about the things that are really going on and things that people maybe don't always talk about, and maybe they feel it's inappropriate, but I cross those lines sometimes. So hopefully if you're listening, you're not like, she's crazy, but you're like, well, yeah, I can totally relate to this post. I hate having my period going to work, and I hate having to juggle and even exercise. Can we talk about that for a minute? I was really like, okay, this week I'm going to get over the fact that my child's still not sleeping, that I'm extremely exhausted, and I'm going to get back on that horse and I'm going to exercise. I was going to do, I have the Beachbody subscription, and I was going to do the, I think it's called Lift 4. I was going to do Lift 4, but I also like hip hop abs and I like the dance ones. So I was like, I'm going to do something. I'm going to wake up. I really should have exercised this morning because I was up before 5, but I didn't. Instead, I just laid in bed, but just thought about not getting up and then not going back to sleep and then watching my son run around the floor of my bedroom because for whatever reason he ended up there, and somehow apparently I was extremely tired because I didn't notice. If I did, I would have taken him back to bed, but it was too late for that. Anyway, I was going to get back on this horse of exercise, which I'm going to do, but it's my period week, so I feel crampy and like I'm not gonna do it. I'm just being real. I'm not gonna do it this week until my period is over, because it's just so annoying. It's really annoying. But if these period panties work and I can use like the silicone cup and period panties, and I don't have to worry about exercising and causing a big old mess, which is really gross and descriptive, but I'd be more inclined to do it probably. So anyway, give me your thoughts on that. So I'd like to talk about, switch subjects just a bit, about who I am collaborating with this month. And this month, I'm still collaborating with God's Glory Box, and I'm excited. I'm going to get my April box sometime soon, I imagine. I got the March box later because we collaborated after the March box already went out. And I'm still doing a giveaway for the extra March box that I have in my possession to mail out to someone. But I am also collaborating with Sierra Metal Design. And I'm wearing my personalized necklace that has my kids' names, and I absolutely love it. It's super simple and super cute. I also have a bracelet that says Mama Forever and Always, and a really cute fitted t-shirt that says Mama Forever and Always, and it's black. I'm not wearing it right now, but it's black and has like hand lettering, and it's white and sparkly, so it's a really cool like fancy tee for when you want to be casual but you want to take it up a notch and not just wear like your Hanes shirt with a ball cap. Not that there's anything wrong with that, I'm just saying it's taking it up a little bit. So it's really cute, and if you're gonna order it, make sure you order a size larger than you are because they do run small. But this Mama box is really, really cool. I like it. It's personalized, especially for moms. It's something special. It's not that expensive. It's like $29.99 a month. And it's just a little treat yourself. If you watch Parks and Recs, you know what I'm talking about. Treat yourself. And just something a little exciting to look forward to for yourself as a mom and as a working mom. Just a little pep, a little surprise you're gonna get in the mail every month. And then God's Glory Box, I don't know what's in that yet. I can actually look online, but there's gonna be some mystery items this month. But I'm excited to get that, and I really like still partnering with God's Glory Box because of what they stand for and the fact that they send 5 meals to people in need with every box that is purchased. So if you want to purchase a God's Glory Box, you can go there right now, and at checkout, make sure you use the Working Mom 5. That's the Working Mom, the number 5, for one box that will get you $5 off. If you buy 3, 6, 9, or 12 boxes, use the code The Working Mom 10. That's The Working Mom 10, and you will save $10 on that box. I'm so excited to partner with people and do collaborations. I love telling you about the products that are great, cute, and meaningful. So if you have any questions about those, just go online and look it out, or hit me up on Instagram. I did a live video of my Sierra Metal Designs Mama Box, and I didn't realize that I couldn't save that to my highlights. So I'm gonna have to do another one and save it to my highlights. So be on the lookout for that. But I do want to tell you, I am almost done with my book. If you only knew, it's not my book, it's just the book I'm reading right now that I own, by Jamie Ivey. And I've been talking about this book a lot, and I think I have one chapter left. Yeah, one chapter left. And guys, I am loving this book so much. It gets real deep about the things we never talk about, or we're ashamed to talk about, we don't want to talk about, and it just talks about the freedom, which is so funny that the last chapter I was reading was all about being vulnerable, and last week I did a post on being real. So I just thought it was really appropriate that I did that post and then I read the chapter, because it was so reaffirming that it's okay to be vulnerable and it's okay to be real. Anyway, she shares so many things that many women go through and don't talk about, and I think it's really important that we as Christian women start talking about the things that are unpleasant and the things that we've done that we're holding on to and we don't need to feel ashamed about, because we're forgiven and we're free. So please check out If You Only Knew by Jamie Ivey. You will not regret it. So that's it for this week. I'm so glad you joined me, and make sure you pop onto social media and enter my giveaway for God's Glory Box, and I will talk to you guys next week. Have a good one.